Hi, I just wanted to talk about a guy who's 3 years younger than me, doing so much more for me and being there all the time. However, not finishing school, has put this wall that I've told him that I need time. He needs time to grow, and I'm just so younger.
So, how old are you, and how old is he?
I'm 27, and he's 24.
Okay, great. When you said not finishing school, who's not finishing school, you or him?
He doesn't go to classes. He's well off, his family's well off, and he has the time to spend with me, and he wants to be with me 24/7.
And so it must feel good to have that kind of attention as well, as a woman. And yet, you are at a place in your life, rightly so, where you're kind of looking out into the future and going, well, how's this going to turn out in the future?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I understand. He is not there. It would be almost impossible for him to be there at the age of 24. At the age of 24, you want to have as much fun, sex, and belonging, and being taken care of, and sharing the excitement of a woman as you possibly can. Most 24-year-olds sort of go from woman to woman for a while. Some do that simultaneously, and some are serial monogamists. They'll be monogamous for 6 months, a year, and then they move on, because at that stage in development, told me he's 24 years old, he's enamored by a woman that's older than him, he has money and time, but no motivation to do anything with his life. Therefore, he is simply not qualified to take this ride. You ever go to one of those amusement parks where it's like you got to be this tall, but before you can ride on this ride? He's not tall enough yet.
He shows up at my work, he calls me nonstop. Being in the place that I am, I don't get to meet a lot of people. I don't get to go out as much. I keep going back to him because he was my fun.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong at all. Short-term recreational relationship. That's where he ought to be at 24. The purpose of a short-term recreational relationship is to have fun and to hone one's skills in relationships. It's in these relationships that you're going to experience little pains, little hurts, little frustrations, little personality blocks. You're going to experience the things where you fall short and where somebody else falls short. You're going to experience the paradox and dichotomy of making tough emotional decisions, like this one, for example, between something that you value and are loyal to, and something that feels really good and has a possibility of maybe becoming something else, you see. So I want to disillusion you, because short-term recreational relationships cannot and do not become long-term committed relationships that last a lifetime. They may be long-term, and they may even be committed, but they don't last a lifetime. So it basically, if you can afford as a woman to spend some time and money and energy and devote some of your sexuality and your years of beauty and youth to something that's not really going to ever go anywhere, go right ahead.
Yeah.
You should do that as much as you want until you're sick of it. Well, you're 27 years old. If you had an 8-year relationship, you were 18 or 19 when that started. I know this sounds harsh, but the truth is that was not supposed to work. You know, there's a reason they call that puppy love. Your brain and your central nervous system are just now at age 27 mature now. Your brain and your central nervous system and your bones and your organs and all that stuff are still developing up until you're somewhere between 24 and 27 years old, depending on your genetic code. So by 27, you're pretty much what we could call an adult. Falling in love with an 18 or 19-year-old, what are the chances that that's going to actually end up being like, oh, there they are, grandma and grandpa sitting on the porch with all the grandkids? Do you know that's not going to happen? So rare that I wouldn't bet my youth on it.
Absolutely.
You as a woman have been given something so precious and vital that the right man, or many, many men, even the wrong men, will gladly give their eye teeth. They'll pay a very high price in it. And I'm talking about the oldest trait in history is, I will provide and protect for you, give you all of my money and time and energy and sexuality and protection for you and our children for the rest of our life if you will love me, make love to me, be sensual with me, provide me with a safe place to come home where I'm taken care of too. That's the oldest deal in the book, isn't it? People have been doing that since the dawn of man. That's why you and I are both here. That's why we have what we have. Mostly what's happening at around the age of 18 to 24, 25 is a very powerful, hormonally driven sexual urge that bathes your brain and your nervous system in a pleasurable sense of I'm in love.
Right.
Often mistaken for that authentic love that lasts a lifetime and actually takes hard work and commitment and development and self-restraint and discipline and insight and self-examination and reflection and forgiving and getting off it and letting go and trying harder and all those things that it takes to have a life of love. He can't even go to class.
Yeah, and I think I need to be here and finally say enough is enough, and I need to pay respect for myself finally, because I feel like I've invested since I was 18 on men that weren't really men, and I feel that I've lost a lot of opportunity education-wise or time-wise for myself and building myself.
I want to give you some space around that too. You didn't waste any time. I've talked to a lot of 27-year-olds who aren't nearly as sophisticated and articulate and self-aware and conscious of what works and doesn't work, because I'm hearing in the way you're speaking. You have been getting educated and you have been developing yourself. At some point in your life, you're going to have to answer this question. Or do you want to be a married woman with a career, or do you want to be a career woman with a marriage? Something that you don't have to decide right now, but you will.
Yes.
Right now, what there is for you to do is to develop your career and develop yourself as a woman and to be, not to do or have the relationship of your dreams. It is time for you to learn to be the kind of woman that men will give anything to be around. There's women like that, right? You've seen them. They walk in the room and every man wants to go pull out a chair for her, open the door, or ask her where she's from or something, right? And you may be one of those kind of women. What there is for a woman to do is to be the flower that attracts the honeybee and let the men do the coming towards you. You don't need to go towards them. That is a skill. That is something that has been passed down through millennium by women. It so happens that my wife has captured it in several very profound ways. A, she embodies what I'm speaking about. It's who she is. And she has a book called Girl Talk that's in both English and Farsi. She also does a women-only workshop and an advanced women-only workshop, and then a coaching program called Lovable and Adorable. And I want you to know, those women are lovable and adorable. They are the kind of women that we're talking about. They weren't when they came to the workshop. I see them coming in, and I see the women that go out of that workshop a few days later, because I've been around a lot of workshops for over 35 years. It is one of the most complete and advanced and beautifully put together experiences that you could have in 3 days. You will never see the world again the same. And so this question that you have right now wouldn't even be a question for you anymore. It would be like a no-brainer. It would be obvious.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to be an excellent photographer, if you wanted to be a dancer or something that turned you on and excited you and that you were enthusiastic about, and you went and took a few classes, you might be able to see some things. But what if you could come out of there and you would just immediately see, that doesn't work, that'll never work. Oh, well, I don't have any problem letting go of something that's not ever going to work anyhow.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. And this gives me the push to live life the way that I feel like I've always lived my life for others. And I guess I have to change my way of thinking first and then find what true relationship or true love is.